Hello and welcome again. Today I'm gonna to give you a brief introduction. This is going to be a brief presentation about biogas generation from kitchen waste. And this you can do you can select as your minor project in BTech in chemical engineering or related disciplines. So I'm Vineet Kumar Mishra and I'll be presenting to you this biogas generation from kitchen waste. So let's start. So these are the topics that I'll be covering today. First, as always, we'll introduce the topic and then we'll discuss the composition of biogas also. Moving on to the next, we'll discuss the production techniques. Then what are the different advantages and uses? Then processing of biogas, its history, and then literature review, which is a very important part for any project, and then work plan to achieve those objectives, and at last references. So if you have noticed recently at COP26 summit which held at Glasgow, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji pledged to reach net zero emission by 2070. And for India to reach that milestone, it, it we must shift to renewable energy sources, which India already doing in some areas like solar energy, etc. And biogas is one such renewable energy source. Talking about its definition, so biogas is the gas produced by fermentation of organic matter, animal and vegetable, and in the absence of oxygen, which is anaerobic decomposition, and is mainly composed of methane, which is CH4. Now, what is the composition of biogas? It mainly consists of methane, which is about 50 to 70%, then carbon dioxide, approximately 30 to 40%, hydrogen, 5 to 10%, nitrogen, 1 to 2%, water vapor, around 0.3%, and some traces of hydrogen sulfide also. Now, how can we produce biogas? What are the different production techniques? Actually, its production can take place from different ways, in two different ways. Naturally, in moors and lakes, biogas is produced by the organic sediments accumulated at the bottom, and in landfills which contains organic wastes. And artificially, it can be produced in anaerobic digesters where it is heated with sewage sludge or municipal waste like food waste, manure or dung in farms, and energy crops like maize silage, etc. Now, what are the uses of biogas and advantages? See, biogas can replace LPG to some extent, and it can also be supplied to hostel kitchens. And it can be used as fuel in running machines like vehicles, and it can be used to produce electricity. And after we get the fuel, the energy part, the digested sludge can be used as a manure directly for as an organic fertilizer. Now the question here is what are the different advantages why we want to shift to biogas or such kind of renewable energy sources? Because first thing is it causes no environmental effects, no emission, and there is no loss of mass, and it is cheaper and affordable. So these are the uses and advantages. And actually biogas production is a very complex process, and like it includes various kind of microorganisms. There are two types of microorganism. It may be produced by bacteria or fungi, but here we'll be using basically bacteria, which is methanogenic bacteria that is found in cow dung. Okay, so this is the flow chart of biogas production. First we'll preheat the food waste, and then after anaerobic decomposition we get biogas, and digested effluent we can use as a fertilizer. So this is complete flow sheet. Talking about the history of biogas production, actually people have known of the existence of naturally produced biogas Since the 17th century, since the 17th century, and experiments with the construction of actual biogas system and plants started as early as the mid 19th century. One of the oldest biogas system in the septic tank, which like we have noticed, especially in the rural and villages area, that septic tank, so which has been used for the treatment of wastewater since the end of 19th century and is still used for isolated properties where there is no sewerage system. Though this is one type of biogas plant, but actually in this type of plant the biogas is not collected and used. Next come the literature review part. So, Government of India's report of 2002 on evaluation study on national project on biogas development, it presents a preliminary study of two highly successful rural biogas models wherein biogas is produced and utilized as a cooking fuel by the villagers. The two models studied were the community biogas plant established by SUMUL Dairy at Wintubutrak, sorry if I mispronounce it, Gujarat, and the individual biogas plants established by Bhagirath Pratishthan, which is an NGO, in South Konkan region of Maharashtra. Various aspects including design, operation, economics, and benefits to the stakeholders had been described. The report ends with a comparison of two models studied on the basis of their design, vision, performance, economics, and benefits. Second is Sky ETL, which is of 2009, it presents a result of the study on biogas production from fruits and vegetables waste materials and their effect on plants when used as fertilizer. So, using digested and undigested slush, it has been observed that the highest weekly individual production rate is recorded for the cow dung slurry with average production of 1554 centimeter cube, followed by pineapple waste which had 965 cubic centimeter of biogas, then by orange waste which had 612 centimeter cube of biogas. Lastly, pumpkin and spinach waste had 373 and 269 cubic centimeter respectively. And the results obtained shows that the difference in the production of biogas to a large extent depends on the nature of the substrate, and all the substrates used appear to be good materials for biogas production, and their spent slurries can be used as a source of plant nutrients. So these are the literature review. Now here comes the main point of any project, the project objectives. So this project would include the following. First is the energy component. In this, the first is the optimization of gas production, biogas production, then comparison with conventional biogas plants, then effects of different parameters like temperature, pH, alkalinity, and also to increase the production using additives, nutrients, and nitrogen source. At last, we'll check optimization of gas production at lab scale and as well as in the field scale. The second component is the agriculture component, and in this, supply of organic fertilizer from digester effluent and facilitate farmers undertaking cultivation of organic vegetables through supply of organic fertilizers. So these are our objectives. Now we'll discuss the work plan to achieve these objectives. So in this work is conducted basically in two phases. The first at laboratory scale and second at large scale in plastic tank. Now, what will be the source of kitchen waste? The waste will be used in the study will be collected from hostel kitchens. Basically, I'm the student of NIT Jalandhar, so I'll collect from there. And waste will be like the cooked rice, vegetables, and non-used vegetables waste. So this waste is crushed by mixer grinder and slurry will be prepared with water. Talking about first phase of the work, which is at lab scale. So in lab scale, this experiment will be done in 1 liter, 2 liter, and 20 liter bottles digester. Here different concentration and combination of waste will be used. Different parameters of input and effluent like total solid, volatile, fatty acid, pH, temperature, nitrogen will be measured. And in big containers, study will be done for gas production. And second phase, which is at large scale or field scale. So here two syntax tank will be used and as a digester with and another as a gas collector. Here also different parameters will be checked like temperature, pH, total solid, and quality and quantity of produced gas, and at last comparison with the conventional biogas plant. So these are the work plan, how we'll achieve the objectives. These are the objectives which we'll achieve by these this work plan. So these are some of the references which I have used for this project. So that's all from my side, and we'll discuss the final report of the project after the completion. This was simple demonstration. So thank you for listening. Thank you so much.